That's Mark's title, new title.
Good evening, guys, and welcome. Yes, it's the big Sunday show within the North Bank, but yes, we know it's not a Sunday, it's still Tuesday, but we're doing the catch up. So, and because we are so excited still from the game last week that we're raring to go and talk about everything. So welcome Mark, welcome Des, welcome Richard, and
welcome,
a couple others, but we'll just crack on with the show. We want to start today with the women's team. So they played on Saturday their Champions League game against Lyon. And I was at the game, and I believe, Mark, you watched the game. Did you get to watch it, Richard, or did you listen to it?
I was listening. I was at work, but I was listening to the commentary. So.
And what about you, Des?
I actually watched the second half. I didn't get to see the first. I forgot it was on, to be honest, and I caught it on YouTube the second half. So
yeah, and so I mean, I was at the game, and to be honest, I didn't think we played that well. I was actually quite disappointed in them because, you know, how they've been winning in their previous games. It's been like, you know, 5-1 and they're high scoring. So I expected it. But Lyon came with their, you know, with a game plan and they were strong. So, I mean, how did you feel, Mark? Because you watched it, you know.
Yeah, I watched it and we only had a couple of chances in the first half. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be ignorant or a liar. I can't remember the girl's name. She got substituted after about 70 minutes. She missed absolute two setters ahead of her. Is it Chadri? The girl that missed the two headers. They were almost open goals. It was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. But the first half was Arsenal. Like, let me break this down slightly.
Yeah.
Lyon do have the most superstars in this competition.
Yeah.
And they are the best team in this competition.
Yeah.
And they have been. They're undefeated. They're invincible at this moment in time in all competitions. No one can touch them. They have very powerful players. And they showed up Arsenal. However, the first half, it was very... I kind of felt it was one-sided, Seema, watching where Lyon were just in absolute control. Yeah. And there's a 21-year-old that plays for Lyon up front, and she's an absolute...
I think her name's Diani. Was it Diani?
Diani, yeah.
Yeah.
She's an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
She scored the first goal that obviously Bar had to... It was ruled offside and Bar came in, overturned. Yeah, but for Arsenal, I don't know the girl's name, and I do apologise for that. And I was researching that before Des rudely interrupted me with the Rapsy Nesbitt best. You know that I'm going for that. But she missed absolute two sitters for Arsenal. And also in the first half, which was very disappointing for me, was Chloe Kelly was injured in midweek. Russo also, and I think that showed a bit in Russo in the first half.
You lose a lot of firepower, don't you? You lose a lot of firepower.
When Chloe was only fit enough for, I think it was maybe 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes.
I think she came in 70 something minute.
Yeah, so Beth Mead tried to fill in that position and she didn't do to that level very well either. See, but the second half, Arsenal were more dominant, and the chances that we missed were, honestly, they were incredible. And if I put it down to the last, I'm trying to sum this up in one go. If I put it down to the last 10 minutes, we get the last 15 minutes, we get the penalty, we score, we look like we're dominating. Our manager's done an amazing job.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's all Arsenal, and we can take a lead back to France, and we get hit again.
Yeah.
It just, it kind of seems like the story of the men's game as well, where the injuries are kind of impacting the girls on that side. But Chloe Kelly was a massive miss in this game.
She actually brought pace. She brought pace into the game.
Yeah.
And I noticed also, and it was so frustrating, what are these short corners about? I mean, they really did those short, and I was sitting there, what the, why? I was sitting in that corner, you know, on the clock end side, and we were all sitting there, and I don't know these people I'm sitting with, but they're all saying the same thing. What on earth are these short corners about? Because they just were not working. So why not just put the ball in?
I think that it's maybe height as well. That is maybe height that comes down to.
Yeah, but the Leon players were literally shorter than our players. Some of them. What was her name? Dumone, the second goal scorer. Little speed. She went straight for it, banging. And you know what? It was 3 against 1.
Yeah.
3 Arsenal players against 1.
She's 21-year-old, isn't she?
Yeah. And
she's the future, isn't she? Let's be honest. She's the future.
So I'm not sure what
it's a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse. It's an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we'd struggled before the game, especially the fact we've got Zinsberger in goal and with Van Domselaar out. It was always going to be a struggle. She's not at the level required for us anymore, unfortunately.
No, I totally agree. I was disappointed that Domselaar wasn't in goal. I think Domselaar is a better keeper. I agree with you, Rich.
So we were always going to struggle, and Leon are one of the most dominant women's teams in the game. But you look at the chances we did miss and should have buried. Well, you can take hope from that because we go into the next leg still with a chance.
See if I could reverse it. What I would say is a positive, and this is a positive, but it's an anti-Norman point, is the fact that if you look at the men's game, first leg of the quarterfinals against Madrid, where we should have been 5-6 up, and we weren't, and we actually came through the tie, and then we'll speak about that shortly. And then you look at the women, and I actually think Leon could have won this in the first leg. Yeah. They were that good, and let's not disrespect them. They were really that freaking good.
But there was a difference though. If you compare the first half to the second half, it's obviously even a team talk, and they've come out all guns blazing where they weren't even literally fighting for the ball in the first half. So something was said, which is brilliant, but still they just couldn't find the back of the net. What is Emerson saying? Seema Leon did not play Renard, as you said. That could have been their game plan. Could have been. I mean, Emerson was at the game as well. We met up just before.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. I love Emerson.
Can I just give my 2 pence?
Yes, please. Please do. Right? Yeah.
Agree. Rob, you come through. Rob, just come through.
Okay. I agree with Mark on what he's saying. You can't look past Leon. They're strong. They are a strong team. I think they've won it 8 times, haven't they? Is it 8? Something like that.
Yeah,
crazy things. As I say, guys, I can't really comment that much on the game because I only watched the second half. And that's being absolutely 100 with you.
But that was the better half to watch.
Yeah. So I'm told.
Go on.
But going on that second half, we were missing firepower. We were missing Russo, and obviously Chloe Kelly didn't come on till later.
Yeah.
Like I said, I agree with Richard. I prefer Domselaar in goal. Zinsberg has had her day, basically. I don't mean to sound disrespectful to her because she's been a good servant, but for me, Domselaar is levels above her. So, but I will say this. As the Arsenal women play, and from what I saw, we were very slow. Yeah. Very slow to what we can be. And I agree with you, Seema. What was with all the short corners?
Yeah.
Get the ball in there.
Yeah.
Because that's where your power is. That's where your attacking force is. I've got to be honest. In the last 2 months, I've really got interested in the women's game. More than I thought I would, to be honest. I don't mean that is because it's always about the men. Because I tell you what, for me, there are women who could play in the men's team now if we needed them. Russo could be up front. Chloe Kelly could be on the wing for Saka. She is the female Saka. Yeah. I want that. I know everybody's saying, "Oh, she's going to go Manchester," and I know it's for her family. I get all that. We spoke about that before. But if we could get that girl to sign a contract, I'd be ripping her. I would genuinely be ripping her arm off and saying, "If you don't sign it, I'll beat you around the head with a soggy end." Do you know what I mean? But saying that, the one positive, like Mark said, Leon should have won it in the first leg, really. Yeah, but we've got 2 legs.
Yeah.
So it's like the reverse of, it's not a rotondo or whatever Real Madrid was saying.
Yeah.
You know, the girls have still got a chance.
Yeah.
And I think if we've got Russo on the pitch and we can get Chloe Kelly fit for the next game, we've got a chance.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, one of the things that there was, or we were looking at, is obviously they did not actually have a big following there. There was not many fans. I think there was literally probably 30 or 40 of them. Yeah. And then when I was talking to the lady that was there, sitting next to me, she actually mentioned that when we go and play at their ground, again, they're probably only going to be 30, 40. There's not going to be a strong crowd. So there'll probably be more of us going over there.
It's such a shame, really. It's such a shame, really, if you think about it, how the women's game is growing.
Yeah.
I mean, if the women can fill the Emirates, that's telling you something, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they fill, but the women, and this is sad. This is actually sad on Arsenal fans, because if I was in London, it would be absolutely different for me. But for the women's game, we could sell out the Emirates for a Tottenham Arsenal game, but we cannot fall out for the semi-final of Champions League against Lyon.
I get you.
And I find that really disappointing.
And what is it? Sorry, Richard, go on.
I think it's the timing, wasn't it? I mean, a 12:30 on the Saturday. It's not necessarily making for the best for, because like me, if I wanted to get there for 12:30, I'm having to leave.
But you would do it, Richard. That's the difference, isn't it? And the thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, Seema, because obviously you go to more games than all of us, right? But is it £10 a game for the women?
It was £22.50 for this one.
Even £22.50.
And if you set club level, it was £50.
Well, even that, I mean, to me, £22.50 is value for money.
Yeah.
And you're getting.
Well, you think that club level one is pretty much round about the price for a standard man's.
But no, you pay worse than that for the
men's. You pay a lot more, Richard, for club level in men's.
It depends where
even
the
cheapest. Like, for example, if we were playing Ipswich right at home, then it would be at least still, depending on the side you sit, going to be about £180.
Really?
Yeah.
I have had some at 50.
Maybe then that, because I know that some people have sold it below that. They have sold their actual price ticket for below. Just to get a bit of money back.
What I would like to say about it is, right, okay, me and Mark next season are hopefully going to get to as many men's home games as we can.
Yeah.
Or if they do an away game that's close to us, we'll try and get to that one. Yeah. But I would say I would definitely come down to London to watch a women's game for that price, right? Yeah. And the thing is, right, and it's nothing against the men, I'm just speaking generally, right? 9 times out of 10 in the women's game, you are guaranteed goals.
Yeah.
Whether that be for or against, you are guaranteed goals.
Yeah.
I mean, Arsenal are banging 4 away against people lately, 5 away against people lately. Do you know what I mean? And the women deserve as much credit as the men because they play as hard. I've got to be 100% with you guys. I mean, end of the day, they play as hard.
Yeah. And do you think the fact that the last game that they played, I think they won 5-0 or 5-1, and that could have sort of maybe the fatigue kicked in for it because it was literally three days earlier. Mm-hmm. So again, obviously women's anatomy is a little different, and they have to deal with a few other things that guys probably.
Seema, question for you: why do we need to talk about anatomy when we're talking football?
We're talking about fatigue,
Because
pace,
they're
and just shut up, okay?
I know what he's trying to do there, see, right?
It ain't gonna work.
He's trying to get
Talking
it on
about,
his plate for
obviously,
you.
you know, the women are going to have like their monthly cycle, so that can affect, you know, the performance. You know, whether they take things for it, I don't know, but you know that could have a lot of an effect. I'm not saying men don't have it, because men can have, you know, hormone imbalances and stuff like that, but you know, I'm
obviously Des has tonight because he's wearing ribs.
We're not going there, Mark. Stop it. Okay. Now, okay. Forget. Okay. Yeah. So, do you reckon it was anything to do with that, Richard?
I'm not sure. It might be
More fatigue, right, from
could
the
be that
previous
she got
game, I would
the-
say.
She could have got the balance in the team right. We definitely slower on the ball. It was more like a performance under Jonas than it has under Sligers. So it's a bit of an anomaly, and I'm hoping it is just that an anomaly, and that in a return fixture we get back to normal service under her.
But Seema, like you've just said, and I think you've hit the nail on the head, right? And Richard could be right, yeah? If men's games are too close together, we moan.
Yeah.
We moan. We shouldn't have these many games this close. I mean, was there a month this season when we did, was it 9 games in 3 weeks or something silly like that?
Yeah.
But, well, if it affects the men, with respect, it's going to affect the women.
Of course.
And I think genuinely, their game before the Lyon game was too close.
Yeah.
Genuinely. I think that's a big factor. Yeah. I do.
Yeah. And now they play on Saturday. So they've gone from Saturday. They'll have 6 days of training, but they have to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that is going to take, you know, that toll as well. So, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. We can't change it, obviously. But, you know, I reckon they can still do it, though.
I think they can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 1 goal difference.
1 goal, yeah.
And if Dom Solar's in goal as well, I think we've got an even better chance.
Yeah. And Chloe Kelly should be playing a lot more.
Yeah. And talking about the women's game, I found out today that Lottie, how I say this, Lottie Wilbermoy, is that her name? Yeah,
Wilbermoy, yeah.
Wilbermoy, yeah. She's got a 3-year deal, isn't she? So that's positive.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a stat from her. She's actually come from the youth academy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and she made the first team in 2015. She was 16 years old.
Deserves a round of applause.
On that. Yeah. She went to the US and returned back in 2020, and she's a defender. So, you know, great. She's born, you know, she's bred like the Hale End boys, you know. So why can't we praise that? Come on. Why is there no more shouting about, you know, rearing one of our own there?
Yeah, we had one come on the pitch the other day, didn't we? Reed.
Yeah.
And she looks, and we've got one out on loan to one of the other. I can't remember her name now, but she's pretty decent as well.
Yeah.
I was a bit going on to a different game for a second because I want to make a quick comment about Beth Mead, actually. Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
The last time she scored, who was she? I watched the game and I can't remember who it was against. But she's only scored 50 goals. Well, she scored more than 50 goals now, but she'd only scored 50 goals for Arsenal ladies, right? I thought she'd scored much more than that.
Yeah.
I thought she would have been on. I genuinely thought she would have been on treble figures.
And I think Beth Mead got player of the match.
I think she did. Yeah.
I mean,
I actually
against Leicester, wasn't it?
In that game, I thought Beth Mead was a delight. I don't want to call any of the ladies out at all, but I thought the drop off between her and Kelly was like chalk and cheese. It was massive, absolutely massive for Arsenal. I thought she was very, very poor.
Yeah.
What, you thought Beth was poor? Or?
Yeah, Beth was poor.
No, I mean she scored 2 goals that game, Mark. But you know,
I'm talking about the Lyon game. But,
sorry, you're back on the. I apologise. I thought you were still on about the game I was on. And the only reason I brought that up was because I was amazed she's only scored 50 goals for Arsenal. I thought it was much more than that. You know?
She's been a great servant. I'm
Yeah,
not hitting her. I don't watch enough of the women's game to have a full contribution towards that. But I would say that I thought against Leon, Beth Mead was for me very poor.
In fairness, though, Beth Mead has had one of those major injuries, hasn't she?
ACL. She's done her ACL.
She's had a major injury, and you never come back. Genuinely, I don't think those kind of injuries you actually do come back the same.
Well, Timber did.
Sometimes you do. It's a psychological. It's always psychological.
Yeah. Right. So we've covered the ladies' game. Let's go on to the men's game now, Mark.
Yes. So to introduce this part of the show, our very own Paul, who runs the channel in the North Bank, was at the game and home and away, and he sent a small video in that we're going to share with you guys. So enjoy for the next minute, and then we'll break it down.
Wow, brilliant. I mean, anybody else come off that high yet? I mean, we beat Real Madrid 5-1, for goodness sake. How can we come off that high? Mark.
Do you know what's actually funny? I could actually hear Paul's voice in that. That is from Paul. That's from Paul's phone, 1,000,000%. That is Paul, because I've been to many games with him. I've been on the high and then came down again, and it's slightly going up again. And quicker, as soon as we get to PSG, it's just going to keep going up. My God, man, we should have had a show before the Big Sunday show, well before Tuesday. But it's just, how could you express this?
It was due to illness, though. Let's be honest, wasn't it? And all this sort of stuff. That's why we didn't get one. Do you know what?
No one would have been able to talk in sanity. Let's just say that.
I mean, I did the watch along, and what a great watch along it was as well. You want to cover your face, you do. It was an absolute great watch along, right?
No.
And I was finishing up the show. Richard was there for the first half. We were having a great time, weren't we, mate? Yeah. And I mean, it was down in the classics of watch alongs since I've been doing them with Richard. Yeah, it was going really, really great. Right, okay. And I'm just about there. Max was on there with me, and basically Max couldn't get a word in once Mark came on. I couldn't get a word in once Mark came on, because obviously he was just letting it all out, Seema. I'll just do a quick reenactment. Ole, 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 ole. Right? And then once he finished singing, and I'll keep it clean for the viewers at home. Welcome to the viewers, actually, everybody watching and everybody in the chat. I like effing care. Come on, effing Arsenal, right? And I just went to open my mouth, Seema, to try and carry on with what I was doing, trying to be professional.
Yeah, what you were supposed to be doing,
Yeah, doing my job.
It's your show.
Yeah, doing my job, right?
Yeah.
And I just went, and I didn't even get a word out. Ole, ole. I mean, you know what? I gave up in the end. I had two really, really good points. I can't remember what those points were now, but I had two really, really good points I was going to bring up at the time. But Mark decided he was just going to take over, so I let him. But saying that, all joking apart, it was a great watch along. I've got to say, it was a pleasure to watch, and I did genuinely feel like I was part of history.
Yes,
it was really good. But on the other side, and I'll just say this quickly so the other lads can talk, right?
Yeah.
on the other side, what's really annoyed me, right, since we won, all the excuses. Like other influencers, other football people, bigger than this channel, whatever. I'm not going to call names because that wouldn't be fair, right? Oh, this was the worst Real Madrid team I've seen since blah blah blah. You can only beat what's put in front of you, and we comprehensively did that.
Wait, can I just say, Real Madrid beat the team that are going to be the Premier League champions.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
F off you lot.
Yeah.
F off you lot.
Haters, just jog
Haters.
on. Haters, jog on, because you ain't worth it. You ain't worth it.
No.
Worth it. But anyway,
Just before we move on, I'm going to make one quick point because we're way to break this down. This is way to be broken down. I'm milking this, and we all want to milk it.
Are we making it the Mark show again?
No, we're not. I'm going to go on mute, and I'm going to let you come through. Beautiful, see me.
No, I let you talk.
No. I was just waiting to give you your flowers. I was waiting to give you your flowers. Let you pass your flowers back, and then you take over the rest of your show, not the Mark show, the Seema show. Seema, could you read out the Scottish predictions? Sorry.
Yes, actually, yeah. Seema.
Yeah, could you just say
I think I ripped that
the predictions?
somewhere.
Give it, Mark. Give it.
Right, listen.
Yeah.
All right,
It's been lost somewhere.
wait. Good evening to Russ and hello, KM. Anyway, this is what they want. Okay, Mark and Des, they want me to apologize because I got my score prediction wrong. And if it hadn't been for Saliba making that error, I would have got the prediction right.
Excuses.
But to the two Scotsmen,
Hello, everybody in the group. The only two Scotsmen on this group. The only two Scotsmen in this group.
Exactly, there's only two. How did you want me to apologise to
2-0 to the Scottish lads. 2-0.
You got it right.
Richard, how many times have I ever got anything right?
Well, I think Mark had one too many tenants and
leave it out. No.
How did you know?
Can you not see what I'm doing? Can you not see what I'm doing?
No, you're deferring it. Listen, the last time I had Richard, the last time I had a couple of tenants and I met Seema, trust me, I didn't get lucky, but I did get there.
This is a conversation for another show, I think.
Yeah, we're not going there. Right, can we go back? Let's go back. Let's
to the 2-1 and also get
I
it right.
apologise. I finished that part. Scrap. Move on. That video. Wait. Paul's video has been praising Martinelli.
Yeah.
Now that kid has not had a lot of praise going on. He's been given a lot of stick. Okay, because he came back from injury. He wasn't scoring the goals. He has stepped up. He got that goal that he didn't. We didn't need that goal, but he got that goal. So, what do you think, Des?
Okay, cool. From my point of view, okay, and I'm absolutely 100 on this. I'm not going to change my mind on it, right?
Okay.
For me, excuse me, Declan Rice, Mikel Mourinho, and Gabriel Martinelli have wrote their names in the history books.
Yeah.
And that's all, genuinely, I'm not going to waffle on. That's exactly what I'm going to say about it. For me, those three lads have written their names in Arsenal history now.
They have.
And I've got to say, Mourinho, since playing that position and getting, is it 6 in 10? Something like that? 6 in 9?
It's more than that. It's more than that. It's ridiculous.
Is it? Well, whatever it is, I've said it in other shows, and I'll just quickly say it again. He's proved all the haters and everybody wrong. He's proved even us wrong. And fair play to Gabriel. And you've got to say, flowers to Kivior. Because I have to expand on this, and genuinely I'll shut up for a second, right?
No, that's okay.
Kivior should be given another contract.
Yeah.
Right? I've noticed we're actually playing him in his natural position, right?
Yeah.
And all that lad was lacking, if you put him in his natural position, was minutes. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll leave it. But there you go.
But you know what they say? The stars were aligned.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Gabriel, but fortunately for Kiwior to step in and prove himself. Richard, your take?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he gets a lot of stick. He's an absolute workhorse, and if you look at the amount of running up and down that and defending he does on that side, as well as the stuff he has to do going forward, but I think it's quite hard, because you look at some, and you're comparing him and trying to compare him to a Salah. Now Salah is an outlier. His numbers aren't what you get from an average winger across the top 5 leagues. His output is completely off the scale. So when you're comparing a Saka, you're comparing them a Martinelli, you've got to actually look at take away the Salah one and look at what the rest are doing.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm actually trying to pull up Martinelli's stats. That's why.
Yeah. I think he's got like 17 goals and assists across, or quite close to that, across all competitions this season. I know Saka's got 25 goals and assists in all competitions.
Well, I want to look at the fact of running stats that they do in each game, and Martinelli. That game, that Real Madrid game, that final goal is what 90 something minute?
93rd, wasn't it? Was it 93rd?
Yeah.
I mean, that kid was running like he just started the game.
Yeah, I mean, he left that dust. He left that defender for dust, didn't he?
Yeah.
You look, he gave Fran Garcia a good 5-yard head start, and still got a couple yards ahead of him before he started the ball.
Well, to carry on from what you're saying, Richard, as well, Courtois, Saka embarrassed Courtois, and I think Gabriel embarrassed Courtois the other night, to be honest with you, because the way Saka, all right, he missed that penalty, but the way he lifted that ball over Courtois to get the first goal was, it was poetry in motion.
Yeah, I think it was the Merino ball actually made that, because it was in the area where Courtois could come out and try and get it. He just wasn't quick enough, which meant Saka was able to chip him. But it's that combination of he still has to kick him.
Sorry, Mark, I'm just going to say one more thing, mate. Saka's got this skill of ghosting into that area, hasn't he? He just ghosts in. He just seems to appear, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think his nickname should be Casper.
And you got to give credit. I mean, it was Odegaard played it into Merino. He played 2 balls. He played it to Royce. Royce played it back to him, and then he played it to Merino. So a lot of people are saying he wasn't that effective, but he had an effect in the game, because it was his pass to Merino that set up the first goal. And sometimes those things go amiss. But Martinelli, probably the last few weeks, has been his best. He's coming back to some sort of form.
I totally agree. Sorry, I'm not being able to pull it up. I really, really wanted to.
Mark, hit us with it, bro.
Mark.
Away.
Oh my God.
I'm having flashbacks.
I was talking to my brother yesterday, and he was like, so it seems like you have nicked our other song from Liverpool. And I went, what? He goes, oh, Luis Diaz, or you putting in Martinelli's name. I went, since when did it become yours?
Yeah, it's not. My take on it is, I agree with you, Des, massively. Absolutely massively. There's underachievers, or like so-called underachievers within the men's game, that like going to a semi-final going to a semi-final or quarter-final of a Champions League against Real Madrid, and they just stand up. Now, my breakdown is, and I loved it, and it's the first talking point I want to get before I give the flowers to players, is Saka with that penalty, the Penelka, and he's getting grabbed by the throat at half-time. How dare you do that against Real Madrid? How about, who the fuck are Real Madrid? How about, who the fuck is Real Madrid?
Yeah.
This is Arsenal Football Club. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, bro. I'm doing that in your stadium. I do not care. So then, the game goes on. We have players like Martinelli that kind of underperformed. He's not had his best season. Stood up massively. To a man, he stood up massively. And I'm not even talking the goal. I thought Martinelli was absolutely outstanding. Marino, absolutely outstanding that second leg. And I miss you, bro. I miss you. And I have to give flowers here. Gabriel, I'm still broken. My love will never die for
Everybody
you.
like their lighters.
I'll never die for you. And your celebration brought tears to my eyes and what happened. However, Kivior,
He's got to have his flowers right. He's got to have his flowers.
There's a start out that we've not conceded actually until Saliba's mistake. No, we've not lost with Saliba and Kivior in the team in something stupid like 20 games. It is ridiculous.
I mean, we
But
can forgive Saliba. Had the result,
I know, but you don't forgive him because you lost your prediction. But I forgive him.
I forgive him.
I forgive him.
I do you, but why did you mention it then? I don't, like it should have been water orthodox back, but
No. It's
because you got your prediction wrong.
I'm not a plastic fan. I'm a genuine. Okay.
Right, so you're genuine. So I'm a plastic fan, and I got my prediction correct.
Oh, you're getting picked on today.
No one is a plastic fan. No one on here.
He called himself that, didn't he?
No, so some are short, but none of us are plastic.
Anyway, so to come back, just to sum up,
serious.
Kivior, no, that was one of the greatest nights being an Arsenal fan in recent history. We can't downplay beating them the way we did at the Emirates. But we should have given them 6 or 7. We should have given them 6 or 7, and we weren't able to do it. But to go to the Bernabeu and stand up with absolute balls. I'm talking the biggest cojones that you could actually have. Stand up in this stadium and say, I'm fucking Arsenal Football Club. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Close your roof.
Yeah.
Close your roof. Where's your Remontada or whatever?
Remontada or whatever they say.
Oh, where is it?
Remontada.
Mbappe who? Mbappe who?
Well, that's the thing.
Vinicius who? Like, we killed them. We killed them. We killed them over 2 legs. We were never in threat. We had to gift one goal to them.
Well, Rice was in Bellamy's head as well, wasn't he? He had 3
I think
reds.
the whole team were.
And Bellingham was getting really, really wound up because you could see it in the physicality.
I must admit, I watched it in slow-mo on a thing, and the referee did let a lot go.
Yeah, he did.
I've got to say that because then.
But that's
what I meant, Rich. But they were tugging and kicking each other, so but that's a sign of a good ref. You know,
is that a sign of a good ref if the ref is high-fiving because he high-fived Bellingham, or not high-five, but
no, all right, I don't agree with that. But during the game, he was a good ref. I've got to say, credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I mean, you maybe say he should have sent Rudiger off, but
because he stamped on someone.
As I said, he let it go. It just wasn't a hit for Real Madrid. it was across the board. He was letting things go, and that's fair enough. If he's letting go one side, he's got to let it go the other.
But let's be honest,
right?
That. Let's break it down as it is, and like Mark has done, right? That Brentford must be kicking themselves now because, let's be honest, Raya, what a keeper!
Yeah,
I mean, he makes the odd mistake, but all keepers do.
Yeah.
What a keeper! Saliba, one mistake, and that was because vision. I don't think he saw.
he
Junior. I don't think he saw him, and no one shouted at him, man on, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it looked like a mistake, but I genuinely thought he just got caught out. Yeah. So where are we at? Obviously, we've said about Kivior. Yeah.
Well, one of the things I looked at when I was watching back the playbacks, Kivior actually did a double header back to brilliantly done.
Yeah. Didn't panic. Didn't get flustered. Didn't panic.
Exactly.
The only thing that was annoying on the night, Partey didn't need to shove that fella, did he?
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to bring back up. You know.
Oh, sorry.
Like we had 3 players, right, that could have got yellows, and then they would not have been available. Okay, we're so glad that penalty was, looked at, VAR disallowed, so Rice got his car rescinded. But I mean, what was Partey thinking of? Yes, he had been bullied, right? There was a lot going on, but then he wasn't the only one.
It was due to the Rudiger shoving the back on Marino, wasn't it? And it was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. But they were doing those rough house tactics all game long. It's something I'd said in the pre-show that they'd stink the game out and try and stink their way to a draw over 90 minutes and win it in extra time.
I love this comment. Welcome on board, BAP of Europe FC. I'm a Real Madrid fan. Okay, well, commiserations. Arsenal were very good. Thank you very much. Really against us. But now, please win this Champions League edition for God's sake. A squad this good should win something without a doubt. We are totally on board for that.
Thank you very much for that comment. That's amazing. And thank you for being in the chat.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Comment.
I think, do you reckon it was just, I agree, it's hot-headed, but was that way too much? Partey could have just stopped for a second.
No, I don't think it is. Seema. I'm not blaming Thomas Partey on this. I love Thomas Partey, and it's a big miss for Arsenal in the second leg. Massive loss for Arsenal second leg. But when you're going every single battle in a duel, we won all our duels. We won every player won all their battles over the 2 legs, and we've came out on top. How can we sit here and criticise Thomas Partey for that yellow card?
Because it was not.
But he's doing it over 180 minutes, Richard. So 180 minutes, it wouldn't be naive if the referee didn't give him a yellow card. The referees gave him a yellow card. So for me, I am not going to pick on Thomas Partey for that. We wanted to get into the semi-final. Thomas Partey helped massively to get us into the semi-final. He done that, and unfortunately, he picked up that second yellow. Declan Rice could have gave a penalty and gave them a comeback if VAR didn't turn that over, and thankfully they did. I didn't think it was a penalty. He would have been,
and that's why I'm annoyed.
So he could have been out the second leg. So through the balance of it, Real Madrid received a red card. They received numerous yellow cards. So even if they went through, they would have been down players in the second leg. But we won that battle all over the pitch, and that happened because Thomas Partey did his fucking job. So I am not going to criticise him. Des, I don't know why you're doing that.
That's my finger. I'm doing my finger exercises, mate. It's all right. Don't worry. I'm listening to you. But I'm going to come back at you. I disagree.
Go on then, Des.
I disagree. Right? I look at it this way, right? We don't need Partey in the midfield. Right? He shouldn't have made that silly mistake. Yeah? And I'll break it down. I'll tell you why, Mark.
Okay.
Because now,
Yeah, I feel an argument's a bit to come on here. But
not an argument. I'm just going to make a point, and then you can cut.
I'm going to rebuttal.
You can rebut me. Yeah, that's fine. But let me break it down. I look at it like this with PSG. You know, we broke it down, and we basically got it right that so and so should be playing where, and so and so should be playing here.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it again for the PSG game, Mark. In the respect of, sorry, not just Mark, guys. In the respect of Thomas Partey not being there, right? This is how I see it. At left back, Tierney playing, or Zinchenko. Tierney or Zinchenko, right? This is the time to put MLS in the midfield. This is the game where you put MLS in the midfield instead of Partey. So I don't think he will be as missed as possibly people may think. Because I think if you put Lewis Skelly in the midfield, your midfield's just as strong. Might even be a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want to make one more couple of quick points. Number one, Declan Rice against Real Madrid played like a man possessed. Yeah. I think he'll do the same against PSG. I think, and do you know, and I'm going to say the same about Martinelli. Martinelli, since scoring for Real Madrid, his game has lifted. I know we're going to talk about Ipswich in a while, but we can bring it up in there as well. His game is lifted. So this is how I see the back four. You're going to have Timber or Ben White, who's now done 90 minutes, and fair play to him. You have Timber or, you've got choices now. Timber or White at right back, Saliba, Kivior, and I say Zinchenko or Tierney. I possibly would go Tierney over Zinchenko. Okay. In your midfield, you're going to have what I would like to see is Declan Rice, Odegaard, Skelly, Miles Lewis Skelly. And then up front, you're going to have your Saka. I would go with Mourinho over Trossard to begin with. And then Martinelli on the left. And obviously Raya in goal. So
yeah, go on.
I genuinely don't think Partey will be as missed as much as Mark might miss him. And that's just my opinion, Mark.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, right? So to come back at that, I was actually annoyed at Arteta, and I know that we're going to approach this. I do want to see Miles Lewis Skelly in the left eight. However, the best left eight in our football club, and I've argued this over a period of time, so I have been consistent on it, is Declan Rice.
Was it not Odegaard? Did we not say Odegaard?
No, we didn't, but we're arguing against Odegaard.
Okay, fair enough. It was a while ago, so I'm just reminding you.
Yeah, no. You said Odegaard and I said Declan Rice.
That's right.
So,
It's cool. Carry on. Sorry, carry on.
So for me, I want to see Declan Rice in the left eight. So therefore, we need a six to come in to break the lines, and Thomas Partey is the expert of that. This loss of Thomas Partey going into the first leg of the PSG game, for me, is absolutely huge. We will not understand how big it is until that game is actually played. Honestly, I could randomly pick.
Could you not put Declan in the six?
You can, but you're losing out on Declan on Nate.
But he loves to play an 8.
You lose out on Declan being an 8. That's where I'm at. I've always argued this conversation.
But Declan loves to play an 8.
He is.
He would rather play an 8.
I think he would as well, see, man. I think he excels in it. Yeah, especially in this.
I'm going to read this comment out from Bart of Europe FC. You guys confident for PSG? Actually, our front three players with a lot of freedom, namely Vinny and Mbappe. But PSG is much of an organised team. Hence, Saliba, Timber, MLS and Kiwior need to be more focused. Now, to be honest, they were most focused. There was just one blip of error by Saliba, I believe. Apart from that, I think they were all solid as a rock.
They're solid. We've got the best defence in Europe. To come back at that comment, and I appreciate you coming in, jumping in, bro. Please hit like, subscribe. We would do the same to you guys. We're not disrespecting Real Madrid.
No.
Not at all. But what I would say is that our defence is the best in Europe by a mile. And if we could keep out Vinny, Mbappe, Rodrigo, we are on to something special. And that is without Gabriel being there.
Right?
We do. And we've got Ray and Gold.
Playing at home, so.
Yeah. You look at how we play against all the big teams we play against, even at home, we don't give many chances up when they're attacking. Most of the chances come from our mistakes, and I see that happening again. I don't think Partey's a big miss at home. I'm glad it's at home. I'd rather him be missing at home, because I think with the home advantage we can get through that. But I expect to see a very similar game that we played against PSG when we played them in the group stages, where we were very measured going forward. It wasn't gung ho. Very similar to the way we played against Real Madrid. We don't allow their attackers that space and time, and PSG showed him, especially at Villa, that if you get behind them and you run at them, they are vulnerable. They aren't defensively solid. So we've got a chance. It's going to be a tough game because you're in the semi-finals. There are no easy games when you get into these latter stages of these competitions. It's just who's going to be the best on the night and wants it more on the night. And
Seema, can I just say, just like, and I will go on mute and I'll let the guys speak and let Des and that come through. See, right now in this competition, for the first time in probably 30 years, I saw the DNA of Arsenal come back.
Yeah.
And the DNA of Arsenal is having a strong goalkeeper, strong defence, strong midfield, and winning games. Under George Graham, it was 1-0 to the Arsenal. Right now, I do not see any team. If we could do that against Real Madrid, we could do that against Barcelona. Barcelona, for me, are the only team that could put an attack out that is as strong as Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That is it. PSG, I don't care. We've already beaten them. Inter Milan, I don't care. We've already beaten them.
Yeah.
We'll go to penalties with the Inter if you want to. We have got the DNA. Arteta has put the DNA of Arsenal back into Arsenal Football Club. Coming fucking at us. But guess what? We will score goals. With a makeshift false nine, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We can put Leandro Trossard up top. We will do it.
So, okay, this is a question that's just popped up in my head. And there's something I heard on the radio the other day, because they were talking about how the game was, say, 5, 7, 10 years ago, right? So now we're going in. We are in the Champions League semi-final. We ain't got a striker. Do you think that this is actually proving you don't need a striker, and you can still go on and win and get to a semi-final, of a Champions League game? And what's he done? He's basically utilized what he has, because he's had to do his backups against the wall. He has no choice. So it's almost like saying to everybody else, like,
right. Oh,
go on.
It's a good question. It is a real good question.
Yeah.
But like Mark says, I can only back Mark up. We've only let 7 goals in this competition.
Yeah.
Right?
I think Inter Milan have one better than us, but they are.
Well, I don't care about Inter Milan. I don't care about them, right? But I look at it this way. Mark's right. We've already beat PSG. We've only had 7 goals scored against us, and one of them was a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. To answer the question,
and one of them was a penalty.
To answer the question you asked, Seema, right?
Mm.
Mourinho is kind of. I mean, we do need a striker. We do, but Mourinho is saying, "Hold on a minute, I'm here. I'm doing my thing." Yeah. And I don't think we're going to have Kai back until and it's only a possibility. I don't think we're going to have him back till the second leg, are we? Is that right? Am I right?
Might be that. It actually might be. He might be back. Yeah. Okay. The reason that question came up, is because they were talking about oh God, what's his name? The one who was at Chelsea and is now at Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce.
Oh my God. his name's gone right out of my head. He's at Fenerbahce and he got sent
Not
off and he's
Felix.
touchline ban. Oh my God. The Chelsea one, the one all the chosen one.
Oh, Mourinho.
Yeah.
Mourinho.
Is he at Fenerbahce?
Yeah.
I thought he was at Roma.
No, he's at Fenerbahce.
Okay.
No.
Basically, they were talking
he
about
went-
him bringing him back into Chelsea, or was it Spurs? One of them. And there was, and
I
the
believe it's
commentators made the comment saying, "Well, actually, no, because the game has moved on a long way from where he used to play it.
It's surpassed him. It has surpassed him by far. I
So
agree.
if it surpassed him, and he was one, it was the chosen one of the greats. Then why is it not that Arteta's the chosen one now, playing without a striker, getting into the semi-final of the Champions League?
I'll break it down for you, and I'll break it down quick, right?
I mean, make it quick because
Arteta. Well, it will be quick. Arteta is not the chosen one because, quotes,
he hasn't won
anything.
But he's changed the game.
Yeah, and I was going to expand on that. I
Yeah.
was going to expand on that.
Yeah.
Look how Arsenal play now, right?
Yeah.
It's fluid, it's quick.
Yeah.
Right? We can be in our own goal area, and 5 seconds later, and I mean 5 seconds,
Yeah.
we're scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go one bit where he has been very lucky that we've had in Havertz and in Marino very technically gifted players who are able to score goals and have been able to use their technical ability as a false nine. I don't think any team could do that. It takes special. You have to have the players in the team to be able to come and get away with that.
I don't think Arteta would want that title anyway, Seema, right? Because
why not?
Right, I'll tell you why. Right, puts a lot of pressure on you. Right, it's a lot to live up to. Right.
Yeah, but don't forget that pressure he hasn't taken that pressure on. He was forced to take that pressure on.
No, I know, but the point I'm trying to make is this, right? If you put someone on a pedestal, if it all goes tits up, it's a big drop.
Well, we're not putting him on a pedestal because
no. I'm not accusing you. I'm not accusing you of that.
Naturally.
Yeah. I'm not accusing you of that. Don't get me wrong.
No.
But it gets to that stage. If you're that good, it gets to that stage.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's the old saying, all good things come to an end.
Yeah.
So I think Arteta's the kind of fella who would just want to be, I was a good Arsenal manager. He doesn't need to be the chosen one.
Yeah.
He doesn't need that.
Well, I'm not saying, he would be the chosen one. I'm just stating the fact that
he is the chosen one.
The way the game has evolved, and somebody like Marino would not be able to come back into the Premier League and play that same way because it's such a different game now.
The title, the chosen one, doesn't work anyway. But I'll tell you why it doesn't work, right?
I'm telling you, Arteta is the guy. I'm sorry, but
I'm not saying he's not the guy, Mark. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not the guy. What I'm saying is, right, end of the day, right, let's say Arteta goes on a 10 losing game streak, sorry. I don't know what I was saying there, sorry. It's the owners who decides who's the chosen one. Yeah. It doesn't even come down to the fans. It's the owners that decide who's the chosen. If you're not winning or you're not doing it the way they want it done, you're gone tomorrow. And then you're the...
No, Arteta is the chosen one. I'll give you... Let me come back at this, please, Des, right?
I'm not going to butt in on you. Go ahead. I'm not...
Yeah. I would say, first and foremost, that Arteta is doing the same as what Wenger did. And he's protecting the owners. Our owners are horrendous. And the appointments they've made, sackings they've made, etc. And they've hidden behind it to make sure their investment's okay. Arteta has now, even under all these controversies we've had this season, we go out against PSG, I am going to love Mikel Arteta 1,000,000%. Because he is protecting the owners through the fans. He is protecting he's protecting the whole entire football club, the players, everything. And even with all these adversities that Arteta is currently facing, he still is producing we've just smashed Real Madrid. We've just smashed Real Madrid. Home and away. Home and away. We smashed Real Madrid. Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, where are you?
Yeah,
Down to Arteta. And that's without Gabriel on the side.
Mark, let me come back. All he's done is create a legacy for himself. He's created a bit of history where Arteta won't be forgotten. That's a legacy. Yeah, doesn't make you the chosen one.
He's built.
If you get off people get off their fucking arse and follow the same direction Arteta's going in, he will be the chosen one. So I'll get that he's not chosen one at this given point, Des.
No, I get that.
Get off your arse and follow this guy, back him to the hill, and he will prove to you that we will win Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues.
Okay.
And Des, I have a right to criticise this. I have a right to criticise Arsenal fucking football club like this.
Oh dear. Right there. Okay, Mark. Right. Okay, I get you. You just did a public announcement trying to get everybody to follow Arteta, and I get what you're doing, right? But there's two sides to every argument, brother. Yeah. And as I said, I made a fair point. That he's making a legacy for himself. But you've got to remember, Mark, not everybody thinks like the four of us, and we all think differently. I'm not saying we all think the same, right? Yeah. You've got to remember there's a section of the fan base, yeah, that they're running out of patience. He's had time and he hasn't produced. They're running out of patience. That's the ones you need to be shouting at. Yeah. It's not the people that are
So the reason that we're having, but it's the reason that we'll have podcasts, so you can voice your opinion and put it out.
I know.
I'm not. Sorry, on you go. Tell me when you're finished.
Yeah, let me land, mate. Right. So, end of the day, yeah, make that shout out. But you can't aim it at everybody. You have to aim it at the part that ain't doing what everybody else is doing. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Is Arteta doing his thing?
I believe so.
So where should we be shouting then?
Right. I mean, there is a middle ground.
I don't need middle ground. I don't need middle ground. Where is the problem lying? Why is Arteta shielding the football club and driving us to the Champions League semi-final?
Because that's his job.
Mark, he's not going to go out and slag his club off, is he?
No, he's protected. He's doing the same as Wenger. He's doing the same as Wenger. Right now, he's protecting the football club.
That's his employer.
Okay, right, no worries. So Arteta, you should be sacked tomorrow. Let's sack Arteta. Shit manager.
Hold on a minute. No one said
Get out the fucking door.
No one said that. No one said that.
But you really turn on so quickly, don't you, Mark?
No one said
well,
that.
Well, it depends who's asking, Mav.
Mark, who said that?
All right, hang on a sec, right? So, BAP of Europe FC has said Declan Rice is one yellow card away from suspension. I mean, he getting a yellow card in the first leg is scary, and him getting a yellow card in the second leg, given that Arsenal make the final, become
no, he's not
scarier.
No, he's not. It's clear.
It's all white. It's all white.
Yeah, that was already rescinded. It was rescinded there and then.
It was rescinded there and then. It would have been wiped anyway.
Yellow cards. But the point.
Yes. Now all yellow cards were wiped at the end of the final whistle.
If all yellow cards are wiped, how come Partey's missing then?
Yeah.
Because he was booked in the quarterfinals. When you reach the end of the quarterfinals, the yellow cards are gone. So, semi-finals
clean slate in the semi-finals, is it?
Partey only had to wait 5 minutes and he would have been all right. So that makes that incident even worse then.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, because he was winning his duels. If you watch the All or Nothing documentaries, you'll understand what Arteta's driving at. When your duels,
I thought he got a yellow for retaliation, not a tackle.
when your duels. Well, maybe it was real retaliation. Maybe that was going on against him. But retaliation is duels. Regardless, Richard, it's a duel that's going to happen in the next 5 seconds, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. He is winning that battle.
It was a moment of stupidity.
It's not stupidity. That is a naive way of looking at it.
Oh, boil your piss. It's a naive way of looking at it. Shut up, mate. No, wait a minute, Richard. Richard, wait a minute, right? The guy's got 5 minutes to go before the referee blows the whistle, right? Keep a cool head, yeah? Don't get yourself that yellow card. How are you saying it? No, hold on. How are you saying it's okay? I don't get how you can say that's okay.
Because he's winning his battle, but what's 5 minutes to go in a game where we are, on that given point, we are 4-1 up on aggregate. Martinelli's not scored. He gets that booking. Arteta goes substitute.
That's bollocks. No, that's bollocks.
Yeah.
If it's 5 minutes to go, if it's
I mean, I thought it was naive.
It's not at all.
And silly to.
Right, okay, so
retaliate,
it's okay to play really well, not make a mistake and score goals, and we're proud of you, Arsenal, but it's not okay for you to make a mistake during the game. What kind of supporters are we?
No, it's not. No, not with 5 minutes to go, Mark, and you know you're needed in the next round. That's stupidity. That is stupidity.
If it had been if it had been a tackle and he got a yellow card for a tackle,
fair enough.
I'd have been fine with it. But it was because he went and retaliated against Rudiger's challenge on Mourinho. And I get standing up for your teammates, but you have to have the game maturity to know that you're being baited because they know they're going out. They want to get somebody sent off out.
Okay, so a Real Madrid fan. I think Arteta is doing a good job. I hear Mark, and I completely agree on giving him the next season along with his players. A striker, a new number 6, and left wing.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't win a major trophy.
Yeah,
maybe you think it out for him. Well, I still wouldn't think him out for him. So I'm a big Arteta fan. So yeah.
So Mark, what you've basically said about Arteta about Party, if I'm getting it right, okay?
Yeah.
It wasn't a tackle. If it, like Richard said, if it had been a tackle, I would have been cool with it. Yeah, it wasn't a tackle. It was a moment of madness, but it's okay because you're winning your duels. You crack on, son. But we're only 5 minutes away from we've already won. Yeah, you should have kept a cool head, and then we've got you for PSG. That's it in a nutshell, bro. In a nutshell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I mean,
Richard. So Richard didn't know your name was Mark. But to come back at you, Des.
Yeah.
To come back at you, Des.
Yeah.
You just played 90 minutes against home against Real Madrid. Went through all this. Won all these battles, tortures, all the rest of it. You came out on top. You've then went to the Bernabeu. They've closed the roof of the stadium. All this shit's going on. You've won
but rice was cooking.
All this shit's going on, and you push someone over, and the referee.
You do know that rice cooks well when you put the lid on, right?
Yeah, we do know that. We do know that, Seema. And we also know that ice lattes are better without the ice in them. We've realised that today. So,
what was that?
The ice lattes are better without ice in them.
Whatever that is, I'm sorry, I don't get it. But anyway,
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, right? And I don't give a shit, basically, right? You're talking shite.
I'm not speaking shite.
You are talking.
Why am I speaking shite?
You're talking absolute shite.
I am not speaking fucking shit.
You are talking shite. End of the day, he's a professional player. He should rise above that. Right, there's 5 minutes to go in the game. Do not push the lad over. We need you for PSG. I don't care if it's a moment of madness. You're talking shite. You cannot turn around and say, "Oh, it's okay, you did that because you won your duels." That's absolute bollocks.
I know you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
So what's
Partey,
the argument you're making?
so-
then? I don't get the
No,
argument you're making.
no, you're right. You're right. You're 100% right. Mourinho come in against PSG. Declan Rice going to the number 6 against PSG. Don't commit a foul. Don't get a yellow card because you're a fucking idiot.
No.
We'll
wrong
do it.
again.
Give
You're wrong
let them
again.
run
You're
through
wrong
and
again.
go.
You're wrong
Let them
again.
go all over defence.
Wrong
Fucking
again.
idiots.
Wrong
Hindsight
again.
FC. Fuck you.
Wrong
Fuck
again.
you.
Wrong
Hindsight
again.
FC.
Wrong again.
Hindsight FC.
Wrong.
Okay,
Hindsight
guys,
FC.
let's call it a truce because right now
Wrong
it's not
again.
Hindsight FC.
Des
Hindsight
versus Mark or
FC.
Mark versus Des channel, okay?
So,
Go on, Richard.
I mean, getting back to the Arteta argument, as I said, there's a middle ground. You can legitimately question whether he carries on in the job. You don't, and you've got to have your arguments for and against that. There's no reason not to question him because he's made mistakes and but at the same time, it's not plain and simple that he's not good enough and he won't get over the line because you don't know that. Okay, you don't know he will. I think this season you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt, like the comment just said, because he wasn't given the striker when he should have been given the striker, especially and he wasn't backed in the January transfer window. So you give him another season to prove he can, if he's got the tools, if he's been given the tools.
But Richard, this is his
But
5-year plan. This is the 5th year, right?
If he doesn't win the Premier League and he doesn't win a Champions League or Champions League next season, and he's got the tools, then the Arteta's out have a very valid argument for getting rid of him. The argument at the moment, you've got to remember when he came in, and I know is he had a team that wasn't ever good enough to win a Premier League or Champions League. He's had to got the whole team and rebuild it from scratch. And he's done a great job. He's made us competitive again. Now he's got to get to go from being competitive to being winners.
So true.
And that's where now is the time to really judge him the next season. If he gets a striker and he gets
I don't know if
everything
any of
he
you
needs.
guys actually saw his press conference today, and he was talking. What's that smile for, Des?
Nothing. I'm just taking it in. I'm taking it in.
So in his press conference, he was asked a few jokey questions, and one of them was actually, "What is your take on the fact that you're resting players and you're not resting players?" Okay. What is I can't remember the exact question, but I remember his reply, and he made a comment about, look, if I rest the players too much, then they're not going to be at speed when they come onto the field. So hence, if the player wants to play, then I let them play. Now, why are you smiling, Des? I really don't want to.
No, because I kind of know where you're coming from, and I'm ready to retort when you're.
Go for it then. Hit me.
End of the day, who is he not resting? Because I don't. It's a stupid question.
Exactly. Because
it's the Saka one, isn't it?
But
the Saka. It was the challenge on Saka.
Well, we're going to talk about that. And are we on about the Ipswich game now? Are we?
No, we're not going on to the Ipswich game yet.
Yeah, it's a
we're just on it.
I'm just clarifying that we're not on about the Ipswich thing. Yeah.
No, it's got nothing to do with that, but it's just the fact that people are shouting. Why does he rest?
He is resting people, though. I mean, look, he took players off against. If I use Ipswich as an example, he took players off against Ipswich.
Yeah, but that's taking them off. This is not resting them, is it? Because they're still playing.
And so they should play.
That's exactly what he was replying to.
Yeah. I think this is something actually me and Mark will actually agree on, and we won't start shouting at each other again, right? But if Declan Rice wants to play 90 minutes and he can do it, let him play it.
Yeah.
If Saka can do it, let him play it. What do you think?
I think the journalist is referring to the fact
I know what you're going to say, and I'm only going to repeat you, mate. So
I actually think that we should be resting players. I think a Saturday game to a Saturday game is better than playing a Saturday to a Wednesday and then to a Sunday. I think that's better. So there's actually disagree slightly with you. I would actually rest players. The Premier League's gone. We need to keep the balance to staying in the top two.
Yeah,
or,
I agree.
or, at least, or the top five. But out with the top five, I would actually rest. Why do we have to sacrifice our players? Now, we're going to touch on the Ipswich game, but Seema, I'll let you do that when that comes. But when you see tackles going in against our players like that, and I do see where Arteta is coming from, where Des is coming from as well. You keep up the match sharpness, you keep it going, you keep the momentum going. It's the most important thing. But however, you are also risking that factor of a serious injury against one of your players, and then the whole deck of cards could come down on top of you. So I do see the balance between the two, and it's difficult. It's massively difficult.
So there's a comment here. So the people who are Arteta out, what do you want? Arsenal changing managers like Man United and end up in the 15th? Also under Arteta are recruiting good players and playing with an identity on the pitch. Brilliant. Now all that's missing is a trophy, and that'll come. And of course, I would say he deserves one. He deserves one more year. Along with his players, after that, he doesn't win trophies, then maybe move on. I'm so liking, your comments, because there's no negativity. It's a balance of it.
Yeah. He's putting in some great comments.
So I'd like to be on the show if you don't mind. At some point, it'd be great to have you on.
This is the problem. You've got some fans that believe Arteta should never be sacked or questioned, and it is the best thing against sliced bread. And then you've got those that think Arteta should be out, won't ever win a major trophy, and isn't good enough for his club. But the reality is in the middle.
Yeah, I agree. Richard, I agree with that. I also agree. And I feel that I'm far left on Arteta because of the people far right. And I'm balancing them.
Yeah.
I've suffered. You've suffered. Seema suffered. Des has suffered for over 20 years. We suffered. And we see the progress that Arteta has made. And I think we are on the correct journey. And the journey is the most important part.
Yeah, but Mark, we're not the only ones suffering. There's so many other clubs out there. The fans are suffering. Right?
I don't care about other clubs.
No, look. All right. Let me speak for myself then, because I don't think I'm suffering. I'm sorry to say. I'm not in the same boat as you. My boat's on a different level to you, because I don't look at it as suffering. Yeah, we haven't won the Premier League. Yeah, we in X amount of years. Yeah, we've never won the Champions League. But I trust in Arteta, and he's.
It must get you a bit. It must.
Yeah, I get frustrated when we lose a game. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I get frustrated and angry when we lose a game that we shouldn't lose. When you look at mathematically, statistically, when you look at it probability-wise, we should be losing, but yet we do, because we make the stupid, obvious errors.
And that frustrates me as well, Seema.
Yeah, but then that's down.
You see,
the manager is part and parcel, because he is the one that's leading from the top. But what can you do?
He's not from the
players
top.
are on the pitch and they're being tackled badly, and they're reacting. We're all humans. They're allowed to react, but obviously that's their job. And their job isn't, like, for example, Partey, to react that way. Knowing full well, I've literally got 5 minutes to go. Leave my head on, in a sane manner, and get through it and go, and not take that one. But he did.
Can I ask a question, right?
Yeah.
4 of us, right?
Yeah.
How many of us are Arteta out?
No.
I'm not Arteta out.
No.
Not me.
Right? Mark is done.
No. I think he has to be questioned and criticised, but
that's part of
this moment in time.
That's why we do these podcasts, Richard. That's part of it,
Yeah.
But I will say this. If Arsenal were in the Armitage Shanks Toilet League, right? And I've just made that name up, by the way.
Seema would be there.
We'd all be there. Because we're Arsenal fans.
No, it's anything to do with it all. It's maybe
Sorry, Seema. I didn't mean it.
Only if
Seema,
Thierry
my
He
apologies.
has to
was
bring that back,
ambassador.
doesn't he?
Yeah. I didn't mean to drag it into that.
I do. I'm sorry.
The point I'm trying to make is I'm an Arsenal fan first, everything else second. Yeah. I actually am, right?
Yeah.
So when I say Arsenal fan, you say it in one sentence. It's everything to do with Arsenal.
Yeah.
Whether it be manager, win the dog, the window cleaner, whatever. Yeah. But the thing is, as I say, if Arsenal were in the lowest of the lowest leagues, I'd still support them. Yeah. And that makes. But what I don't like is the hater fan base call you deluded. You're not deluded. You're supporting your team.
Yeah.
No, you're an Arteta sexual.
I beg your pardon.
You're an Arteta sexual. That's what I get called.
I told you it was a Scottish orgasm, didn't I? I told you he was called a Scottish orgasm.
I don't know. I get called that all the time, and I'm an Arteta sexual for
Come on.
praising
there could be a worst
the
case
manager.
scenario. You could be a Spurs fan and having to go at,
Oh, come on,
Seema, will you please go and brush your teeth?
You've got to say that.
Okay, then, or you could be.
There's no comparison. Seema, don't even try and
Definitely
make a comparison. There isn't one. You could be.
No, you could be.
You could be a Real Madrid fan.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
No disrespect. No disrespect.
You could be Southampton or Derby.
No disrespect. You
Do
could
you
be
know
a
what
Real
do you know what we're not talking about? And I want to talk about it because I hate these Arteta outers. I want to win a trophy like these guys. But Arteta has retired Ancelotti.
Oh.
And he's not getting any credit for it whatsoever. He's retired Ancelotti and he's getting zero credit. So I'm not an Arteta sexual. The bottom line is I see the progress, the journey that my manager's made with this football club and where he's going. And I see the deficiencies within my football club. Hence the reason that I get an email every day. We've got a new jacket coming out. Mark, you get 10% off being a red member. Go and buy one. I get this all the time. And I have to face the balance of within myself of the two. But what I see is Arteta is, for me, the guy to lead us there. Arteta is a football player. I hated him. I hate him at Glasgow Rangers. I hate him at Glasgow Rangers. I hated him at Everton. I absolutely hate him at Arsenal. I hate him as a captain at Arsenal Football Club.
Oh, guess what? Our Real Madrid fan. Of course, I'd like to join the show, but on some other day. My dad is an Arsenal fan, hence I like Arsenal a lot. It's like my second team. I've watched almost every game of Arsenal since 2016. Yay! Thank you.
Well, that's great. That's great. Yeah, we'll have you all.
Right, I'm going to pull up. I pulled up a stat, okay?
Right.
And this is with the Arsenal Real Madrid game. And it was actually in the 80th minute, this stat popped up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
As a collective team, Real Madrid had run 88.8 kilometers, right? Arsenal had run 95.78 kilometers, right?
Yeah.
So the passes, right? 299, okay, by Real Madrid, 170 by Arsenal.
But we covered more distance.
Yep. They had 87% accuracy and we had 82% accuracy. What does that stat say?
We're amazing. That's
exactly.
So
every single player was putting in every ounce of.
They were putting in a shift. Yeah. And that's what disappoints me. I don't want to get into it with you again, Mark, about Partey, but that's what disappoints me about Partey. If he did just kept his head for them 5 minutes, mate. Yeah.
Do you know what?
But you're asking him over a period of time to keep his head when
that's what he's paid
the stats. But the stats that Seema's just given you, the reason that we won all that when all the stats were against us was because of Thomas Partey and every one of these players giving 1,000,000%.
Yeah, so he should
have
made that stupid mistake.
Forget the Partey thing. Do you know what really pisses me off the most is when one stupid, ignorant person shouts out, "Bloody hell, I've got you wrong fast enough."
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But seriously, when people shout that out, or something stupid, and you think,
But
mate, you try running like that.
Yeah.
You try running
But
and kicking the ball like
doesn't
that with
that just show
accuracy.
somebody's
Go on,
ignorance?
Richard, what are you saying?
Sorry, Richard?
But doesn't that show
Yeah,
somebody's
that's
ignorance?
what Steve was saying.
I've been at the women's game, and there's a guy with glasses.
So you're picking on people with glasses now.
Last season.
It was
the
Shut
Wales-
up, this show's not about you, Mark.
It wasn't
Mark, it was the
Scottish,
Wilton
though.
Warrior. It was the Wilton Warrior. That's what it was.
He wasn't Scottish, and he was a lot taller than you. He was 2'2".
He must have had a big, what in it.
Stop! We're not going down there. Sorry, Richard, carry on.
It's 25 past 9. You
It
get
was
to be
every
here.
5 minutes. Why are you passing sideways? Why are you passing backwards? And it was a constant criticism. If you've got no idea what the manager's setting the team up to do, and you can't see it,
Shut up.
don't make
Basically,
it
shut up.
benign comments.
Yeah.
Can I go back to an Arteta point?
Go on.
Right, and this really, really annoyed me, right? This was on that stupid radio who think they know everything about sport, right?
Mm.
It was a load of fans of football watching the Arsenal match, and someone said, "Oh, Arteta was on the phone to Pep Guardiola before this game. Pep Guardiola must have inspired him." Shut up. Shut up. Anything to get a rise out of Arsenal fans, isn't it? Anything.
You know where City is at the moment.
But to be honest, Arteta set that up
Say again,
himself,
mate.
didn't he?
What did you say?
I said Arteta did set that up himself because he said he'd spoken to Pep about the game beforehand, and that's fine because Pep Guardiola's faced Real Madrid multiple times, so he will know a lot about Real Madrid. So you're going to get as much information and as much knowledge about an opponent as you can. And I don't mind my manager tapping into something if it means.
Can I just remind everyone, when City came to play at the Emirates, what did we say at the end? Shut up and be humble.
Yeah.
Shut up and be humble. So those people weren't listening to that part, were they, Richard?
No, again, you know how close Arteta and Guardiola are. They played. Came from Barcelona. They've been lifelong friends. He took him under his wing at Man City. Yeah, and you. So there was always going to be a respect and an admiration, and he's always going to go to somebody like that.
Well,
But there was no need to. The point I was going to make, and you're right in what you're saying, Richard. Everything you've said is right.
Yeah.
There was no need to even bring it up.
He probably wanted a few extra followers, Des.
Maybe.
That commentator just needed a few extra followers.
But it's like Simon Jordan, and one on the morning one was like, but he hasn't won anything. So and that's a hollow one because he has won an FA Cup.
But that same Simon Jordan is a failed football team owner.
Yeah, well, he did well at Crystal Palace, didn't he? So
Yeah. But I do agree that the next step for him is to win the Champions League or
the best
Premier League.
Let's be honest, and let's cut to the quick. This is the best chance for Arsenal to win the Champions League this season.
Yeah.
Like Mark said, I can only say what my brother at the top said, right? We have got the team, even with the injuries, right? Because we've proved it. We've got the team to do it this season.
Yeah.
We've got tools to hurt any of the remaining teams. We still got to work hard, and we still got to want it more than the other teams, and we need a little bit of luck
I want to touch
in certain situations.
But once you finish, Richard, go on.
Once we get to, if we can get past PSG and we're in the final, anything is possible.
Okay, we haven't spoken a lot about Saka and his penalty. Okay.
Loved it.
There's nothing really to talk about.
So what
It
are
is.
you doing?
This is brilliant. I thought it was absolutely fucking brilliant. Saka represented Mark Taylor as an Arsenal fan on that pitch when he took that penalty. Fuck you, Real Madrid. I'm Arsenal. I don't give a fuck if you close the ceiling. I do not care about anything that you say. I'm taking this penalty. Mbappe, who? Get to fuck. And I loved it.
My thing was, what was the thinking? Was he actually taking that Thierry Henry moment, Richard?
He felt at that time that was the right type of penalty to take. He knew what would happen if he scored it. He also knew what would happen if he missed it. And you have to have some balls to make that choice. And let's be honest, since his first full season in an Arsenal shirt, he's been our best player by far, season on season.
Really, is that what you think?
He's earned his
You think
right
Saka's been the best player season on season by far?
You look at what he. When we were crap, he was the man we relied on. Now we've got players that have brought the level of a team up. He is still the man that is producing the goals and assists to get us the season. He'll come up in big games, in big moments, with an assist or.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just wanting you to break down why. I wanted you to break down why, mate. And at the end of the day, you've done that. So thank you.
Could I make a point on this? I'm smiling. The whole time Richard's speaking, nothing against what you've said, Richard. I actually think it's deeper than that. I think Arteta put that much belief into this team. You are far better than any other team on the planet. Real Madrid. Real Madrid can close the roof. They can do what the fuck they want. Go and do what you do. Saka stood up. He took that penalty. The Real Madrid staff are getting annoyed at Saka grabbing him at half time. We've all seen the clips of it. And Saka then chips him again. It's almost like,
so
I do not care.
I wrote a quote and I wrote, if I couldn't do it the first time, I'd try and succeed the second.
And he did that. And, end of the day, he did. I mean, end of the day.
Yeah, he didn't wilt, didn't he? He didn't go hiding. He didn't wilt. He didn't shy away. He still
but
went.
I saw that performance. I saw that performance in every single player, not just Saka. Saka was in the spotlight because of the penalty. Sorry, you've not spoken. Saka was in the spotlight because of the penalty, and he was in the spotlight because of the second goal. See, Matt, I'm not trying to give you an orgasm. Come down.
Shut up, man. Even Sam says
I'll mute you.
Right, so I agree with Mark, and I don't like agreeing with Mark because he's a twat.
Yeah, I know. What's going on? Bromance there.
But I will say this, right?
Rob, you go for it, Paul.
The team performance, thanks you prick. The team performance, the team performance, right? Best performance I've seen. I did say on the watch along. I don't know if I said it when you were there, Richard. For me, these two games are up there for when Arsenal beat Liverpool. When Arsenal beat Liverpool in '89.
That's an old comment. Move on.
It is.
I'm just looking at them now.
I had to get glasses out for that one.
Remember, Mark, you've got small hands. You've got very small hands, right? You've got dainty, petite hands. Remember that.
Yeah.
It was up there for me for the Liverpool Arsenal 1989. You won't forget it. You won't ever forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on now. We're closing the chapter. You know, we thrashed Real Madrid. Who? Sorry, anyone seen them? No, gone. Right. So let's move on. Ipswich. Right.
Yeah.
What did you think of that game? Come on, Richard. Let's get Richard in first. Oh, Richard doesn't want to get on.
Richard. I think someone tried to call him. I don't know. Go on, Mark. You go.
Come on, Mark.
Richard, you're not very good at doing that with your phone, but
No, he's not, is he? No.
no, he's not selling this. Yeah, do you know what? I sat very calm during that game, and I never cheered any of the goals. See me?
Yeah.
I never cheered any of them. Normally, I lose my head every time Arsenal score. I just sat there like calmly, like brilliant, well done, guys. That was honestly my reaction, and very professional. I don't want to give Arteta false hope, and I'm hoping over the evidence that I've saw this season that he does not play Trossard up front. I know he's got a headache in the first leg. Don't take the 2 goals for granted.
Sorry, are you still frozen?
No, we're not frozen.
Richard,
you need to
shut
go.
up. Carry on, Mark. Carry on.
Well done, Richard. Richard's trying to turn himself on and he's actually turning himself off. But that's Michelle's problem, not mine. Anyway.
Carry on.
Sorry, I have to give that dig in there. Sorry. So, I don't want Trossard up top in the first leg of the PSG game, and I'm slightly against this. So I don't want Arteta to get false hope through Trossard with the 2 goals against Ipswich, even the slightest. The only talking point that I really do have of the Ipswich game, a very professional performance by the guys. Arteta put energy into their legs, etc. More minutes into their legs. It's the red card against Saka. See, Matt, the tackle against Saka. See, Matt, I am absolutely. I've heard that it was stupidity. I've seen various other comments come out against it. Yeah. It was nothing short of absolutely fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
That could have done him for even I'm not talking PSG or the rest of the season. That could have gave him a long-term injury. That could have done his ACL. Yeah. There is no excuse for. I know they're fighting for their life, and the players got every right to go into it, and he's not looking at the game the way that we look at it. That.
Yeah, but he was nowhere near the ball.
It was just horrific. There's I don't actually even have words. It's the only thing I have on that game. And to come back to what Des said earlier about Arteta and rotation, etc., and why you don't do it, and it's why the press went at Arteta. Should you be resting players and maybe leaving Saka out of these games so tackles are not coming in against that? I do see that in abundance. I am actually scared that these guys are getting these kind of tackles because these players are fighting for their livelihood. They're fighting for their wages. They're fighting for their life. They're dead. We all know that Ipswich are dead. But at the same time...
They've gone down already. There was no... Yeah,
I know, but it's like you've got to show some kind of character fight. Southampton have not done it. Leicester have not done it. This Cats are doing it now more than fucking Leicester.
Sorry, guys.
No, sorry, it's funny, bro. But these, honestly, this Cats are actually showing more fight than these relegation teams. So the guy is fighting for his life. So I'll try to take that in perspective to make a balance out of it. But that tackle in itself. You don't do that to another professional football.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Mark. It shows guilt, right? That when he's walking off, he's apologising. So
but you know what? No, but Des, he actually stood on I won't go on mute. I promise. It's not the Mark show. It's not the Mark show. And he actually stood beside the referee and asked him again, do you
Oh, he
want
didn't
me to
leave. He
walk?
didn't leave straight away. He didn't leave
No,
straight away.
and the referee was like, basically, get the fuck off this pitch.
Yeah, he wouldn't
Yeah,
go. He wouldn't
No,
go,
he
would
wouldn't
he?
go. He wouldn't
Yeah.
go.
And then he apologised to the Ipswich fans. He's touching the badge. He's not apologising to Saka,
He's
to
not.
the Arsenal fans.
No.
He's apologising to Ipswich, saying, sorry, guys.
I don't even think he apologised to any of the Arsenal players.
No, he didn't.
No,
And
he didn't.
He was
Let
actually-
them go up to Saka and say, "Hey, mate, I'm sorry."
Yeah, none of that. But also, what you got to remember is Mark as well, right? He was on that pitch until VAR basically said no, he's got to go.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't listening to the ref.
No.
Don't go on mute, Mark. I want you to come back at me, mate, if you want to.
No. They've just to let you come through. But the ref basically, I watched it clearly because seeing real play, I didn't actually see it. I saw Saka going in the air, and I didn't see it. And then there was a foul on Odegaard at the same point. So I'm like, what free kick have we?
He got punched in the face, didn't he?
Yeah, so it's like, what free kick is the ref given here? I didn't actually see it in real time. And when the ref gave the red card, and I thought, whoa, what happened here? And then they showed it, and it was like, bro, that isn't even like, you're a professional football player. Sorry, I'm not changing sports. I'm not doing one of our. I'm not even going to say that. I'm not changing sports. Formula One is done on like split hundredths of a second, like tenths of a second. And then you look at professional football players, and it is done the same split second, not quite down to a tenth of a second. I wouldn't give that, but it's done down to such a short period of time. This game is 3 seconds off the tackle.
Oh,
that was like me in my 40s doing a tackle on Saka.
Yeah.
That's what that was like for me. He wasn't even near the ball. He was nowhere near clearing the foot. You're a professional football player. You were trying to leave one on him, and you could have done his Achilles. I have nothing wrong with people leaving one on one, and in this game, it's a contact sport. Players use their bodies a lot these days to protect the ball. So I get all that. It was miles off. It was just a blatant, dirty, humane tackle. Like, I am going away to try and wipe you out here.
Right, the thing is, right, I look at it this way, Mark, right? And you don't have to put yourself on mute, but I'll get my say for a second, right? I look at it this way. I've watched a lot of Sunday League football in my time, yeah? I used to live in a village where there was a Sunday League team, yeah? I've seen tackles like that in a Sunday League game. So that shows how stupid, weak, and crap it was, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? That's a better. Thank you so much. See, if I ever needed to get to a point quickly, that would be at Sunday Week. It is Sunday Week.
It was. It genuinely was a Sunday League tackle. It genuinely was. But I do want to talk about the goals in the respect of Odegaard's assist was the weakest assist I think I've seen this season, right? Fair play to Trossard being able to score while falling over. Yeah, good goal. Yeah. We should have been 5-0 up at half time. Saka missed 2, Mourinho missed one. You know, we should have been 5-0 up, and then you could have took everybody off the pitch. Yeah. You could have took everybody off and rested them. Yeah. But why I think he's doing that in the Premier League at the moment, and I know Mark made a point earlier that the Premier League's gone. I get that. But we are still trying to maintain second place. So
no, we're still trying to
and we're not guaranteed
so early.
Yeah, that as well. Okay. But I will say this, right? The goals were great. Martinelli's goal was great. What a back heel by Mourinho.
That is just class.
Yeah. And we just absolutely outplayed them on every part of the game. But when they actually went down to 10 men, the game was over. I think they got into our half 4 times in the whole game.
Yeah.
And I will say this. I will say this, right? Okay. I loved what the crowd was singing. Arsenal won at the Bernabeu and Ipswich are going down. I just was like, oh, if I
they switched it because they were saying, Tottenham watching Emmerdale, and then they switched it to Ipswich going down.
Yeah. I thought that was quality. I really thought that was quality.
Des, I'm trying not to come back at you, but you've just made a valid point, and it's probably the most proudest. And like if we delve deeper into it, it would be insane. But see, when you have a player like Martin Odegaard, our captain of this football club, and he's not performed this season, let's not hide away from it. He had a serious injury. He's not been to the standards that he's doing. And you're mentioning the players that you're mentioning. Bro, I could actually cry at it. Kivior coming up, Mourinho coming up, Martinelli stepping up. It's like a team. You need everybody to step up at times, and Martin Odegaard's not doing it, and these guys are doing it, and it's just like, this is my fucking football club. This is why I support this football club. These players are given, like, they're standing up. Captain, it's okay, bro. I've got you. I've got your back. I'll do it for you today. See, Mourinho, that assist is absolutely revolting. And then Odegaard, you're right. It's the worst assist that I've ever seen. It was laughable. Honestly, see when he actually got that.
Literally, how did the camera pick up that the
It was his stud. It was his stud.
His stud actually touched the ball. I mean, like, how could you even see that?
I actually wanted them not to give him it.
Yeah.
The only way that assist could have been any worse is if he'd slipped. And he sat on the ball.
If you were Saka, if you were smart, Richard, sorry, mate. If you were Saka, how annoyed would you have been that you didn't get the assist there, mate? Go on, tell us that. Go on.
I've just got one question for you, right? And it could be after Richard comes in, but just let us say it first.
Go on, Richard. Have your sign it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I want to throttle you because you took my Sunday League comment, because it's a sort of.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
It's the sort of tackle I would have made on the player who'd been giving me a run around a lot. You get frustrated and annoyed, and you see the chance to leave one on. It's an ankle breaker. On the if you get a bit of bad luck, and it's you, and he was fortunate it didn't break Saka's ankle.
Well,
I thought we played well, and the only bit I will disagree with you is I thought the game was over when we scored the first goal, but the sending off just meant we could try new things, and we could pretty much coast to the end of the game.
Well, all I wanted to say as well, Seema, going into the second half, Trossard scored one of his goals, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right, and obviously the young kid that came on for his debut. What a strike!
Right.
And I've got to be honest, when it left his foot, because the keeper got a hand to it, didn't it? When it left his foot, I thought that's going in.
Yeah.
And what a debut that would have been for that kid. What a debut that would have been for that kid.
Yeah.
And I tell you now, Ethan, all right, it took 2 deflections, but they all count. They all count. But I wish that goal had gone in for that young kid.
Yeah.
See when Odeji done that, see if you had scored, that would have been the only point I jump off my settee and went, get fucking, and I would have celebrated that like Martinelli's goal in the Bernabeu. I swear to God, I would have celebrated the exact same way. I agree with you. I was excited when that happened.
It was nice for him to get his Premier League debut, wasn't it?
Yeah. I must admit, right, I don't throw things around, right? But if that kid had scored that things would have gone fly. I would have done a mark.
Yeah.
Ole.
We've got literally 11 minutes to go.
Yeah. So,
Richard, do you want to finish off what you were saying?
Yeah, it's one maybe somebody in the comments can know how many times have we had full Hull enders come onto the pitch during a Premier League match?
Wow.
Was that 4 of them? Was it? Was
Yeah,
it
we
4?
got Saka.
No, yeah.
Saka,
MLS.
Skelly,
Yeah.
Maneri, and
Of
Adeji.
course, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I was trying to think who the third one was. Of course. Yeah.
And do you know the only bad point about that, Richard? They were playing on the same pitch as Sterling.
Oh yeah, Mark. How do you feel about Sterling? I thought he was going to score in the other end.
Right, okay, we've got 10 minutes left for the show. Let's cover the Palace game. Okay, we're going.
Before we do it, please, man, before we do it, because I gave myself a reminder, just a reminder, because I really want to make this point. All the bad luck that we got at the start of the season, Declan Rice touching the ball away, getting a yellow card, getting sent off. And then we've got the same happening with Trossard against City, and we could go back to last season, etc.
Only, because I really want to cover the Palace game, please.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. If you didn't interrupt it, it'd be 10 seconds.
Quick, don't.
I hope we don't do that on the next date, Seaman. So see, you've just spoiled 30 seconds. But maybe you've ruined this. Maybe all right now, Seaman, you've destroyed yourself. Maybe all the bad luck that we've had this season, at the start of the season, we're starting to see the good luck come at the end of the season. And we're seeing the players step up that we need to step up. And maybe, just maybe, people, this is our year to lift that fucking trophy. That's the only point I'm going to make.
Okay, right. So we're playing Crystal Palace tomorrow. And what are your thoughts on what team he's going to put out? I'm going to go to Richard because you two have talked too much.
Right, so I'd expect Timber to come back in. I'd expect Calafiori maybe to come in for Kivior.
Yeah.
I don't see him doing. I reckon Moyson and Marino and not Odegaard will be that midfield. I'd like to see something different, but I don't. And I think Trossard will be the false 9. And I think you'll probably see Nwaneri start, and you might even see Sterling start, though he might still keep with Martinelli there. It depends on.
Well, I mean.
Yeah, and Partey is the hard one because you want to give him minutes, but I'd probably give him minutes in the Bournemouth game.
Okay, but also it's a big game for Palace on Saturday, so. I mean, they're going to be resting their players more than likely. What's your take, Des?
My take. Okay. Well, I'm going to start by saying we need 6 points, I believe, from the last matches to guarantee second place. To be honest, I would start strong.
Yeah.
Start strong. Crystal Palace has been a good side this season.
Yeah.
They've got some good players. They definitely have. Eze, Matete or Mateta, whatever his name is, Matete, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got some good players, but I think we need to be dominant and we need to be strong to begin with. And then if we've scored a couple of goals in the first half, take players off like he did at Ipswich.
Why do we think it's going to be couple? Because I don't want couple. I want more than a couple because a couple is easy for another team to come back at us, and
not the way
getting the title tomorrow.
Not the way we defend. It's not. I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
The way we defend, it's not. If we get 2-0 up, it's hard to come back at Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's just my belief. If we get more than that, that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Ethan to score the other day. I wasn't expecting that shot from the young kid.
Yeah.
That could have been another goal, The thing is, what you got to remember as well, guys, we are putting players on the pitch that can score. So if you do take people off at 2-0, I can understand your concern, Seema, but if you do take people off at 2-0 and you put in Ethan on, you put in, let's just say for argument's sake, MLS on, okay, you're not dropping levels that much. In fact, you're not dropping levels at all, really.
Yeah.
And that's credit to the Hale boys, you know what I mean? But don't, if we're 2-0 when he starts taking players off, don't panic. That's what I'd say.
You're okay, Mark? Sorry, go on, Richard.
Yeah, the only thing is we can empty the tank in this game, and that's because we've got a week to go, and that's the comfort of it.
Mark?
I don't give a flying fuck about this game, and I do not give a flying fuck about the next game either.
He always has to go ruin the mood, doesn't he?
He has to lower it. He always has to lower it.
I'm not lowering it. Don't give me the Premier League, the Champions League. I do not care, Seema. My stocks are in the Champions League.
All right, predictions.
Predictions.
Do predictions matter these days?
Yeah, they do.
They do, because we need second place.
We need second place, and we've got not only Newcastle, but we've got now Nottingham Forest there third.
Forest are back chasing us, which is fair play to Forest, because this season they've played out their skins.
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due, guys. Yeah. But you want predictions, Seema, yeah?
Yeah, so Man City 2-1 against Villa.
That's a surprise. I thought Villa might walk away. I thought Villa...
Well, it's still the 94th minute.
Points behind us, aren't they?
Sorry, Richard?
BX Gunners joined us.
I think they're 5 points. They're 5 points behind us now. But we've got the game in hand. We play Palace tomorrow night.
So, what's the score prediction?
Me 2-1.
Okay, Rich. Okay, what about you, Des?
Well, being as the two Scotsmen are pretty good at making predictions.
Big head.
Oh, you finally noticed. Oh, that's nice. I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal.
Okay, Mark.
2-0 Palace.
What? Shut up! Get him off the spot.
I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care.
He's not coming on the next show. He's not invited.
End the stream.
Can I have a quick thing with Mark? The reason it's important is you don't want to be relying on us winning the Champions League for Champions League football next year.
Qualified.
So we need
already
to make
qualified.
sure
Richard, don't give that shit to me.
Mark, we need a lot of players in the... Sorry, I'm going to add to what Richard's saying, right? We need a lot of players in the summer window, don't we, yeah? If you get second place, you get more money.
I don't care about the money. That's Frankie's problem.
Oh, God. I tell you what, the sun always shines on his planet, doesn't it?
You know what I mean? It's part of Scotland. It's lucky it's a different part.
I've got no comeback because I live in Newcastle.
Gunner is saying 3-1.
Good lad.
Is Emerson, are you still on? Would you like to put in a prediction?
Bap, do you want to put in a prediction as well, mate? Or Russ, if you're still here?
See if my prediction's correct. I want flowers.
Oh, believe me, Mark, if your prediction's correct...
Oh, yeah, you need flowers because they don't grow in your part of Scotland.
You'll be having flowers on the grave.
If his prediction's correct, Seema, believe me, he's going to get his flowers because end of the day, he won't let anybody not forget.
Exactly. He'll be crying all over the place. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to be wrong. Mark, if you're wrong, do I get flowers?
I'm going 4-0 Arsenal.
Are you going 4-0 Arsenal?
Yeah, I'm going all out.
Against Palace?
I think we're going to beat Palace easy.
Fair enough. You're entitled to your
opinion. Because they're going to worry about Saturday, their semi-final.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes, they have semi-final in the FA Cup, aren't they?
Yeah. They're going to worry about that.
Wow, Mark, you didn't think about that, did you? They might have one eye in the FA Cup, mate.
He's been bouncing on
the already. He has. He has.
Hey.
I appreciate that it's like 2 minutes to 10, guys, but we don't need to use sexual references to make our points.
Oh, right. Is that right? Is that right? Oh, Jesus, it's a sexual reference.
Even Sam was laughing at that.
You use a sexual reference for everything, Mark.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
As I said.
Anybody want to say something for 15 seconds?
Yeah, I'll just quickly say
away.
Why did I do that?
Seema, I'll just end the show with this, right?
Okay.
Arsenal are going to get second this season.
Okay.
Right? We are going to win the Champions League. I'm going to be positive.
Yeah.
And Mark is known as the Scottish orgasm.
Richard, 15 seconds.
Oh, I can't top that, can I?
Cheers, Rich.
Oh, all right, guys. Okay, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for everybody in the chat. Thank you so much to Des, to Mark.
It's been a great show. Thank you, Seema.
This is such a fun show today.
Yeah.
Apologies if anybody got offended about any of the sexual references.
Blame Mark.
Basically from Mark, okay?
No.
And let's enjoy the game tomorrow, and let's all get ready for PSG. Yep.
There is a watch along tomorrow, Seema. I forgot to say. There is a watch along at 8:00 for the Paris game. For the Paris game? No, ain't the Palace game. Sorry, for the Palace game. Come along and watch it. Be part of it. It's all fun. Thanks a lot, Seema.
And also, I'm going to leave you with an excerpt tonight of an intro, and it's Paul the Bray from In the North Bank. He was in Madrid, and this is his own video, guys. So please enjoy it, and milk this cow. Milk it as much as you possibly can.
Thank you, everybody. Come on, you Arsenal.
Come on, you Gunners.
Go.